Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and tonight I'm here to admit something to you. I'm old and I don't see very well. At my last 3D tournament at my club, I've always liked shooting a scope with just like a sticker on the lens, and I couldn't see squat on a third of the targets. The lighting was not great, and my eyes are not what they used to be. And so I've been trying to figure out a solution. I don't like shooting fiber that's lit up. This kind of creates a bit of a halo effect for me, so I was kind of going through my mind and figuring out all the products I've seen that I haven't tried before. And one came to mind, UltraView Archery. I gave them a call and asked them if they would be interested in me looking at their new UV3 SE scope, specifically their XL scope, because I wanted to take advantage of the fact that you can have a sticker on your lens that glows. That is not something I've ever shot before, but I think that is going to solve a lot of the problems that I have with not being able to see like my sticker on those 3D targets. Even on like, if you're shooting like a field archery with the mostly dark face with just like a light middle, I can't see that with some of these stickers. So again, it sucks getting old, and so I'm hoping to combat that a little bit with the UltraView scope. So right now, tonight, I'm just gonna get it set up and ready to shoot. I'll follow up with a full review and how I feel about it at a later date, but for now, let's unbox this and get to work setting it up so I can shoot 3D tomorrow night, in fact. So less than 24 hours from when I'm recording this video, I'll be putting it to the test and we'll see if I can actually see what I am trying to see. All right, let's get started with the toolbox that UltraView sends you with this scope setup. Full disclosure, I have actually unboxed these already just to look at it. Curiosity got the best of me before I started recording the video, so keep that in mind. So the main box, you've got your main scope setup here. So this is the UV3XL Special Edition SE. And here you've got, this side is your lighting. So here I can hit this top button here to turn the light on. There you go. You can see how it makes the bubble glow. It'll do the same for the stickers. Very cool. And you can change the intensity up and down. Just turn it off for the time being. It's got this white alignment ring, which can be removed very easily. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it or not. I will probably start out playing with it just to see if I like it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Over here there's a little microfiber cloth, is our lens cartridge. So I wasn't sure if I had a lens that fit this or not, so they sent one over for me, and their lens, again, this is, I think, going to be far and away the nicest lens I've ever had. So I'm looking forward to playing with that one. It has been pre-drilled for a fiber. I think you can, here, I can get that on camera. You can see a little spot right in the middle of it. That's just a little pre-drilled area. You can put a fiber in there if you'd like. I'm not going to do that because I'm not interested in a fiber. I like to have a sticker. So I will set that up on here momentarily. I'm going to have to disassemble it in a little while. I'll show you how to do that to put this in here because it's got the it's the same cartridge without a lens. I just have to replace that with the lens cartridge. Also, the last but not least is the box of accessories. I have opened all this up already, and I couldn't quite fit everything back in as it was, so let's pretend it's all in there, and we'll go over things real quick. So, first things first is this little replacement cartridge. So this is if you're shooting maybe in a tournament where you're not allowed to have lights, or you're using this bow for hunting, you're not allowed to have a light in your state, you can just take off this part of the cartridge and replace it with this. Just an option. I'm not going to be doing that. I may show you how to do that. It's super simple, but for now, this is it's an option for you if you're at a tournament that doesn't let you have light, or you can't have light in your state for hunting. Elsewhere, we've got our instructions came in this little packet. We've got an extra level and some extra, mounting screws. 2 extra batteries, some different fiber options. We got 3 different colors here, it looks like. It looks like yellow, green, and like red or orange. And we've got stickers, which is the star of the show for me. And we've got green, yellow, red, and orange. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to use yet. I'm thinking I should lean towards green because I don't think that's going to get in the way of any targets I'm going to shoot. I think there's one, my club I think just has the single green target of a frog, but this should be lit up. It shouldn't really be a problem, but we'll see. Maybe I'll want to use like a ring with a green dot in the middle of it just to help me with that. Well, there's lots of options here, and I can do some experimenting with this over the course of the coming weeks and months before I do the final review. We'll get to that later. I think for now, it's time for me to disassemble everything and get it set up how I want it set up for shooting. Step one for me is going to be putting on my first dot. I'm going to start with the green, I think. Sizing wise, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sizes of dots, or 5 different rings, or you got 3 pluses, or there's a bunch of different options here. I'm going to choose the third largest of the green dots here. All right, through the magic of video, I've got my green sticker on there. Now I need to disassemble the main scope and add the lens kit to it. Let's do that right now. So taking off anything on here is pretty simple. There's just 2 set screws. This one will take off like where the lens will go, and this one will help you take off the main bracket where the light and battery kit is. So I believe I just have to take off the one, and there's not much to do. You don't take this screw out, it's just a set screw. So I just loosen it a little bit, maybe 2 turns, and that should pop out pretty easily. There we go. And now we install the new one. So let me figure, there we go. I think we just slide that right in there. And now that is what I'm going to be seeing. Now let's see what it looks like all lit up. So I'll turn the light on. Look at that. That is such an improvement already over what I was shooting before. In the past, I've always shot a combination of black and yellow for 3D. So I might have a large black dot with a small yellow one in the middle, or vice versa, but this that really looks like it's going to stand out. So that's the light on the lowest setting, and I can gradually make it brighter and brighter. That's about as high as I'm going to get. Very cool. So we're going to see how that looks when I'm shooting 3D targets tomorrow night, and then I'll talk about that in the review video, but that's very cool. So now all we have to do is tighten up our set screw here. So again, I think that's like 2 turns, not hard. I'm going to stop it when it gets even a little bit snug. With that out of the way, I'm going to show you how to remove the light kit, just in case, again, you're at a tournament where you're not allowed to use it. So I'm just going to pop out that little aiming ring again, which again, you don't have to keep. And I'm going to loosen this set screw here. Probably 2 turns again. And this should pop out pretty simply. And you just put in that little placeholder for it. It should pop in as easy as that. And you just tighten up the set screw if you want it. I don't want it, so I'm going to remove it and put the light kit back on. Now that my scope is fully set up, I now have to figure out how to attach it to my sight. In this case, we have the black gold competition sight. I think before I do anything, I'm going to have to disassemble it again, at least get rid of the lens kit, so I can get started here and put the scope rod in place. So let's pop that out for now. Just put that safely to the side for the time being, and get my scope rod installed, which is going to go right through there. Now, the scope I had does not really have the scope rod I needed, so I think I'm supposed to have one with the back, so I'm going to have to get creative with this for now, and just see if I can jerry-rig something that'll work. So bear with me as I just try to screw this in, and we'll see if we can make it hold. I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen though. There we go. All right, I think that is going to get me started. So let's add on. Oops. This will go next. And this is not really a super important part of the process for you guys, but I'm just going to use these little pliers. Not exactly the perfect tool, but just to snug that down as well as I can. And now I'm just going to tinker around with this until I can get this working exactly as I would like to. So we'll come back in a second and see if I can get this lined up. I've got it on there. It's looking level. I'm just gonna, this is my little nut that I use to kind of jerry rig this. But I think having a scope rod with an end would have been better here. But that's just my situation. Your scope is obviously going to be a little different than mine anyway. So now let's get the lens back in, which should be fairly simple. There it is. We're going to tighten our set screw again just to make sure that we don't come out. And now I think we're set up. Let's go put some arrows through the bow and see how this works. Well, I've had a chance to shoot 2 or 3 dozen arrows down range so far with the UV scope. And in the early going, I am very impressed. Now, keep in mind that this room has amazing lighting, so it's not exactly going to mimic the testing conditions I will put this through for the long-term review and considering the places I normally shoot. But I will be doing that in the near future, I assure you. But for now, I've got a black target with a green piece of painter's tape on it, and I'm shooting a green dot, and I can see everything perfectly. Now, it doesn't stop me from doing a bit of a dip bang and missing low of the target, which I just did there. But the fact is I could see what I need to see, which has not been happening lately. Now, I'm going to be testing this very soon where the lighting is not nearly as good, which is often the case for 3D tournaments. I'm shooting an indoor tournament, but this is going to be the same if you're shooting an outdoor tournament, kind of where you've got like a target maybe down in some trees with lots of shade. So I think this is really going to be a great setup for me. I can't wait to get a lot more arrows through this, and I'm going to test it more in the near future, so look for that video in just a little while. In the meantime, Archery Talk, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel an awful lot, and we'll see you again soon.